Good morning and welcome to another video from Rideshare UK, the channel that actually gets under the skin of Uber. And on today's video, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to peel a layer of skin off Uber. Right, if you've listened to the podcast that comes on your app every week or 2 weeks, whatever it is, whenever they feel like doing it, about 2-3 weeks ago, you would have had a podcast regarding county lines. Now, this is obviously something very serious indeed, and is done by the safety team of Uber, who, when you've actually listened to this video, you'll see they got into a bit of marketing themselves rather than concentrating on safety purely for riders and drivers. So let's start this video. What is county lines to start off with? Now, me, if you've been in this job a long time, you will know that we do shift a lot of dodgy characters, even on executive cars as well, in this trade. And this is what it's all about. It's actually gang members, individuals, using taxi as a form of transportation, because obviously we could more or less camouflage ourselves quite good, and we don't get stopped by police as often, and this is obviously exploited by gang members for grooming, exploiting kids, movement of drugs. I mean, if you want to listen to the interview, it's quite a good in-depth interview Uber has done on there. And basically, and you start asking yourself a few questions about this, and you think, how serious is Uber actually taking this? Obviously, in this podcast, they've joined up with the police, the Home Office, Crimestoppers, and you think, well, have they really done this just to get a small badge of Uber under the Crimestoppers sticker, the Home Office letterheading, Uber partnering with Home Office to stop these sort of crimes being committed? And this is what I'm saying, how do we actually, as drivers, tackle this? Well, firstly, you got to be looking for the telltale signs of what's exactly happening. So as a driver, when you get certain passengers in your car, you should be able to, in back of your mind, click on there's something wrong here. Either they be vulnerable teenagers, vulnerable adults. Let me just say, as you guys know, I've been doing this trade for the last 23 years. I would say on 2 occasions within them years, that I had to use or call the police for a certain thing I didn't think or I wasn't comfortable with. The first one was domestic abuse. This guy was basically, he was in my car, we was taking them home, and he was very, very aggressive to her. One stage, he even punched her, and then he was using verbal languages to say what he's going to do when he gets back home. When I dropped them off, I wasn't comfortable at all, and I actually called the police and, said to them, look, this is what's happened, if you could look into it. The other occasion was when I picked up these customers. This is all prior to joining Uber, by the way. When I picked up this passenger, and all he was on about was how he's going to kill himself tonight, everything. He was going to the pub and everything. He was probably in his 60s or so he's fairly old, but he just wanted his life to be ended, and he kept saying, look, I'm going to kill myself, this, that. Again, that's another instance where I called the police and I said, look, if you could go in and have a look at this guy, because this is the thing he was saying, what he's going to do to himself. So going back to the subject now, obviously those are the signs. Drugs is a big one as well. Transferring, the most common one you'll come across is with the bases, especially, is doing the drug run. And to be honest, these guys are okay. You know, they pay fairly well. And I never had any problems with them, actually. But on the serious side, you need to report it to the police. And this is quite very, very important. You got to understand this. Do not do it through the app. You know, the app where you got the emergency thing where you could ring the police direct. Don't do it, because that logs on to the Uber system. As soon as Uber realize what's going on, or even not knowing what's going on, but you've used the facility and it's drug related, criminal related, whatever it is related to, they will suspend your account straight away. So if I was you and you came across certain things like this, I would firstly stay away from using the Uber app whatsoever to make that call. You know, just ring 101 or 999, whatever you feel is more appropriate for that time. But you know, having said all that, you know, you got to start asking certain questions, you know, and this is why I make these videos. And something like this where they advertises us drivers to help them with their quest of, you know, getting the badge, so they could stick it under working with partnership with Crime Stickers. You know, the question I'm asking is, how protective is Uber for its drivers here? Because, you know, you are dealing with big time criminals here, you know, gangland warfare, you know, and you as a transportation company transferring these people. Firstly, you know, if you're working with the police and you know this is happening, why are these accounts not blocked? You know, you got the credit card details, you're working with the police are saying this, you know, you should be blocking these accounts and not putting these drivers into any sort of danger. You know, you shouldn't be waiting for that driver to make that call and saying, we got this. And if you had that details, you know, that's the first thing. And how protected are these drivers also on instance where the details of the driver, everything from the driving license to the car reg, color, make, DNA sample, you know, all this is given to the rider. You know, and if you're telling me now I should report a big time gangster who just probably is going to get caught after I've given all the information, and he's got my information, he's got everything he needs if he wanted to track me down, you know, and this is diabolical. You know, how can you do that? You know, you are protecting the drivers, not a single bit there, and then you're asking us to repay and help you. That is so bad. You know, I don't think they even thought of that. You know, the amount of data that's available to riders if they wanted just to, you know, if they wanted to get back on us. Okay, but there's more to than that as well, which I want to explore at the same time here. You know, okay, there's vulnerable people out there, and, you know, we should be helping them. You know, I mean, I got nothing against that. But at the same time, look at what's happening to us drivers and what help are they giving us. You know, they are just purely advertising, marketing this to help themselves getting noticed by the general public. But as drivers, what have they done? In America, all over the world, you know, hundreds and hundreds of drivers, Uber drivers, are committing suicide. What help is there to them? Has Uber ever done a podcast saying, look, you know, we need to help you drivers because we might think you are mentally disturbed? You know, how many, you know, these drivers are going through financial hardship. You know, you're telling them, you know, get a Uber executive or S or whatever it is, you know, buy this, we'll give you loads of jobs, the rate of this, you know, falsifying everything, earnings, all the stats. And then the guy buys all that, you lower the rates, you lower everything, and he's in financial hardship. You know, is there any sort of debt counseling? No. This job also brings, you know, a great hardship to the marriage. You know, there's marriage breakups that happens because of Uber, the way they are running their policy. What sort of counseling do they provide on that? None. you're stuck in a car, long hours. Look at the health complication that puts us. You know, do we actually get any sort of health checks from Uber? No. So what I'm saying is, maybe Uber at the same time really need to look at the drivers as well, what they actually are doing to the drivers, rather than making these sort of you know, marketing anyway, I'll finish the video off. I'm getting sick of just seeing how they want to just exploit the drivers, where they are not providing anything, not even looking after the drivers at all. Bye bye now.